Hey everyone, welcome back. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below.
Yes, hit us with those comments.
Today, we're going to deep dive into the allegations against Chris Brown.
R&B singer Chris Brown.
Yeah, and, you know, this isn't just us gossiping, right?
No, no.
This is serious stuff.
Very serious.
Accusations of violence.
Specifically against women.
And it's been going on for over a decade.
Yeah, we've got a lot to unpack here.
We do. We've got court documents, interviews, even insights from a documentary.
It's called Chris Brown, A History of Violence.
So buckle up.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild ride.
What I think is so mind-blowing is that it's not just like one thing.
No, not at all.
Like we're seeing a pattern here.
A pattern of behavior. And the documentary really does pull back the curtain on how fame and power, especially in the music industry, can shield people from consequences.
Okay, so let's start with one of the more recent and shocking accusations.
Yeah.
A woman, we only know her as Jane Doe, she claims Brown drugged and raped her on Diddy's yacht.
Oh.
I mean, we're talking at a party hosted by Diddy himself.
Yeah.
She says she met Brown, had a drink, was taken to a bedroom where the alleged assault took place.
So awful.
Yeah. And she says she tried to cry out, but was silenced.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a truly horrific account. And she did file a $20 million lawsuit.
She did.
Against Brown.
Right.
But the case was later dismissed.
It was.
Due to conflicting text messages and her lawyer leaving the case.
Right.
But here's the thing. The lawyer, Ariel Mitchell, still believes Brown was guilty.
Even with those legal complications.
Yeah. I mean, it just adds another layer to this whole thing.
Absolutely.
You know, it makes you wonder about the power dynamics at play, right?
Yeah.
And just how difficult it could be to prove these kinds of cases, even with a lawyer who, like, firmly believes the victim's story.
Exactly. And it really connects to a major theme that's explored in the documentary. Proving sexual assault, beyond a reasonable doubt is incredibly tough.
Yeah.
This case just, really unfortunately highlights that difficulty.
So let's rewind a bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about the infamous Rihanna assault in 2009.
Right.
I mean, the photos of her injuries were everywhere.
They were.
Brutal attack.
Yeah.
And even with that level of evidence, Brown only received 5 years of probation and 6 months of community labor.
I know, it's just a shockingly light sentence for the severity of the crime.
Yeah.
And what's even more disturbing is that, Brown's career didn't really suffer.
Right.
He continued to release music, gain fans, build his wealth.
It really makes you question our culture's willingness to forgive.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to male celebrities.
Especially male celebrities.
So we're seeing a potential pattern here.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop there. Craig Tran accused him of violence in 2015.
Right.
His own manager and tour manager made allegations in 2016.
Yeah, a lot of different people from different parts of his life. Right. And then there's the incident with Liziane Gutierrez.
Right.
Who claimed Brown punched her in the face at a party.
At a party.
And he then released this video mocking her appearance, which just shows a complete lack of remorse and just disregard for the severity of the situation.
I mean, it's almost as disturbing as the alleged act itself.
Almost, yeah.
It's like this sense of impunity,
Yeah.
running through all of this.
It's like he believes he's above the law.
Right.
And the consequences that regular people face.
And that's where the documentary's insights about fame and power become really, really important.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It argues that Brown's accusers are relatively unknown.
Compared to his global fame.
Right.
Creating this imbalance of power.
And that makes it even harder, I think, for them to be believed or taken seriously.
Absolutely.
And that's a chilling thought.
It is.
It's like, is the system stacked against the victims?
It seems like it.
And it makes you wonder, why do some people still support Chris Brown?
I know. With all of this, right?
Despite all of this.
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
The documentary really grapples with this. Is it blind hero worship?
Yeah.
Where fans just separate the artist from the person?
Right.
Or is it a deeper issue of just not wanting to believe that someone we admire could be capable of such terrible acts?
Yeah.
It forces us to look at ourselves, and question our own values.
Yeah. It's like we create these narratives around celebrities that allow us to justify their bad behavior.
Yeah.
We can't accept that our idols might be flawed.
Totally.
Right.
And that's exactly the type of thinking the documentary challenges us to confront.
Okay.
We need to look beyond the surface,
Yeah.
understand the human impact of these allegations,
Right.
and demand accountability regardless of someone's fame or wealth.
It's a powerful message.
It is.
Especially in a time when, like, celebrity culture often overshadows real-life issues.
Absolutely. And the documentary, it doesn't offer these easy answers.
Right.
But it does provide valuable insights and resources.
Okay.
It reminds us that staying silent is like the same as being complicit.
Right.
And that we all have a responsibility to speak up against abuse and support survivors.
It's not just about speaking up, though. It's about truly believing victims when they come forward, listening to their stories, and creating a culture where they feel safe to do so.
Yeah, it's about shifting the conversation from protecting the abuser to empowering those who have been abused and holding those responsible accountable for their actions.
And that brings us to this huge question. Despite all these allegations and the evidence, Chris Brown's career seems to be thriving.
It does.
He still has tons of fans and keeps releasing music.
Yep.
What does this say about us? And our idea of accountability?
That's the real punch in the gut, isn't it?
Yeah.
It forces us to look in the mirror and face some uncomfortable truths about ourselves.
Yeah.
Do we care more about talent and entertainment than the safety and well-being of individuals?
Yeah.
Do we let fame and power excuse people from consequences?
It's a hard truth to swallow.
It is.
But it's a conversation we need to have.
We do.
Because ignoring the issue doesn't make it disappear.
Yep.
It just lets this cycle of violence keep going.
Yeah.
And allows abusers to continue hurting others.
The documentary doesn't give us like a simple solution to this complicated issue, but it leaves us with this powerful message.
Yeah.
We can't just stand by and watch. We have to actively work towards creating a culture that rejects violence and supports those who have been harmed.
And that starts with education, awareness, and a willingness to challenge the status quo.
Absolutely.
We can't just sweep these allegations under the rug or dismiss them as, celebrity drama.
Exactly. These are real people's lives being affected.
Right.
And we have a responsibility to listen to them, believe them, and demand better for them.
Well said.
Thanks.
This deep dive isn't just about Chris Brown.
Right.
It's about taking a hard look at the issue of domestic violence as a whole.
Absolutely.
And the documentary does a great job of highlighting just how widespread this problem is.
Yeah.
Even outside the world of celebrities.
One of the most powerful examples in the film is the story of Miss Kansas 2024.
Okay.
Alexis Smith.
Right.
She bravely used her platform during the pageant to call out her own abuser.
Wow.
It's incredibly courageous for any victim to come forward, and it shows how deeply ingrained these issues are in our society.
It's heartbreaking.
It is.
But also inspiring.
It is.
To see someone like her use their voice to speak out against abuse.
Yeah.
It reminds us that we can all play a role in breaking this cycle of violence.
Absolutely. The documentary isn't just about exposing Chris Brown. It's about raising awareness about domestic violence across the board. Right. It's about empowering victims, challenging societal norms that protect abusers, and demanding accountability from those who commit these acts.
It's interesting they chose to focus on Chris Brown as a case study.
It is.
He's almost become a symbol of this larger issue.
He has,
His case is particularly compelling because it shows the tangled web of fame, power, and the legal system. It forces us to face uncomfortable truths about how we often turn a blind eye to abuse.
We do.
When it's done by someone rich and famous,
It's true.
it brings up so many tough questions.
It does.
Like, why do some people still support Chris Brown despite everything?
Right.
What does that say about our culture?
That's something the documentary leaves us grappling with.
Yeah.
Is it hero worship?
Right.
Do fans just separate the art from the artist?
Right.
Or is it something deeper?
Yeah.
A reluctance to believe that someone we admire could be capable of such things.
It's almost like we create these narratives around celebrities
We do.
that make it easier to excuse their bad behavior.
And the documentary is a direct challenge to that kind of thinking.
Yeah.
It's a call to look beyond the surface, to see the real harm these allegations represent,
Right.
and to demand accountability regardless of fame or fortune.
It's a message we need to hear,
We do.
especially in a time when celebrity gossip often takes center stage over real issues like this.
The documentary doesn't give easy answers.
Right.
But it provides valuable insights and resources.
Okay.
It reminds us that staying silent is the same as taking the abuser's side.
Yeah.
And that we all have a responsibility to speak out against abuse and support those who have been through it.
And it's not just about speaking out. It's about believing victims when they come forward.
It is.
Listening to their stories.
Yeah.
And creating a culture where they feel safe to do so.
Right. Exactly.
Which brings us back to Chris Brown.
Okay.
Despite all these allegations, right? And the evidence we've discussed.
Right.
His career is still thriving. He's got a massive following.
He does.
He keeps putting out music.
Yes.
What does that say about us as a culture?
That's the real question.
What does that say about our understanding of accountability?
I know, right?
It forces us to really examine our own values, doesn't it?
It does.
Do we value talent and entertainment more than we value the well-being of individuals?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Right. Do we let fame and power excuse harmful behavior?
It's a question we all need to ask ourselves.
Because ignoring these issues doesn't make them go away.
No, it doesn't.
It just allows this cycle of violence to continue.
Exactly.
And allows abusers to continue hurting others.
The documentary doesn't pretend to have all the answers.
Right.
But it does leave us with this powerful message. We can't just sit back and watch.
We have to do something.
We have to actively participate in creating a culture that rejects violence.
And that starts with us.
Yeah, each and every one of us.
So how can we do that?
Well, we can start by educating ourselves about domestic violence.
Okay.
We can support organizations that help survivors.
Yeah.
And most importantly, we need to speak up against abuse.
Whenever we see it.
Absolutely.
Silence only protects the abusers.
Exactly.
It's time to break the cycle.
It is.
We need to create a culture of accountability and respect.
I agree.
So for everyone listening, this is our call to action.
Let's do it.
Educate yourselves.
Yes.
Support survivors.
Absolutely.
Speak out against abuse.
That's how we make a difference.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been real.
Don't forget to like this video.
Yes, smash that like button.
Subscribe to the channel.
And hit that subscribe button.
And leave us your thoughts in the comments.
We want to hear from you.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.